You know, I was proud of our staff, and I was proud of the leadership amongst our players for how we responded. Certainly, independent of the opponent, you know, we did what we should do, what we all expected probably to happen. But I think the way we did it was important. We had the right mindset. I thought the attitude and effort was good. And for the most part, played pretty clean. There was a number of things that we addressed with the team yesterday, but we needed it. You know, it's been a while since we won a football game, so I was really proud of that response. You know, I do think that it's a big week. You know, it's Tennessee week. I think we've done a ton relative to educating our players about the rivalry. We did some work there relative to going back and really educating everyone on the history and the magnitude of the game. Do you understand that this was the game at one point in time in college football relative to the SEC, the Eastern Division, and certainly the national championship picture, right? And it happens early. So I do think that that's helped. In particular this year, met with the leadership group at 11 o'clock, and certainly think some of the things that we emphasized during training camp. And look, we have several of these games, right? And they all matter, but I think this was unique because of, if you go back and look at the history of this game, the importance. So, yeah, I think there's an element to it that's a little bit different for sure. Yeah, so I think obviously the uniqueness of the offense, the tempo. I mean, they're snapping the ball. They run about 3 plays a minute, right? So I think they're first or second in the country in pace, right? So there's an element to that that's unique. You know, we can speed the tempo up, but we don't do it every play. But I do think, yeah, the uniqueness, you know, in a typical week, right? So they've had success moving the ball and scoring points, and I think there's an element to that. You get not only the personnel, but also just systematically, right? So how you going to play them? What's your fastball going to be? What are your curveballs? What's your slider? You know, and you know, how can you dictate the pace of the game a little bit? You know, I think there's some things to that. So yeah, the play count number can roll up. You know, I think it's right in the high 70s. I think relative to both sides of the ball on average. They're going to play in the high 70s. We're going to play in the high 70s. So the play count's going to improve. You know, and depth can be a key component, especially late.